Hello, everybody. My name's James. This is just a little reintroduction to the Sober Sports Talk podcast. So this isn't a proper episode. This is just sort of a reintroduction to the podcast. So usually on the weekly one, I'll be joined by Tony Wilkins and guests. But I just wanted to sort of say that after a few weeks break, we'll be back next week properly. Got a very good guest lined up for next week, Lloyd Russell, who I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with him and sort of finding out Lloyd's story. So that would be next week, and that'll be available to download next week. In the few weeks break that I've had, it's been a nice little break. I've sort of taken some time to learn a few things, read a couple of books, listen to other podcasts, and to just sort of like reflect on the last 14 months that we've been doing the Sober Sports Talk podcast. And I think what I've come to realise is, and I think since we did the last podcast as well, I've also launched the Sober Sports Talk Club, done one session where seven men came along, had a chat about a variety of different things relating to the podcast. So that was good. The second group was meant to be held the other day, but unfortunately I wasn't feeling very well the last weekend, and my little boy was sick as well, but we're both okay, which is the main thing. And the second group will be rearranged shortly. But I think what I've realised over the last few weeks, where I've been talking to people and reading stuff online, which I know isn't the greatest source of information sometimes, but it is completely relevant to the podcast, is that there are so many people struggling at the moment in one way or another, whether it be with their mental health, which is probably the biggest one. I've had quite a few people talking to me about their drinking as well, and they're looking to stop. And I've said all along, I'm not an expert on any of this, and I'm still not an expert on it. I never will be an expert on it. But it's great that people are reaching out and asking the question, and all I can do personally is give share my experiences in how I gave up, and try and help them on what hopefully will be the start of their sober journey. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, but I had a chat with Lloyd this morning, discussing the podcast for next week, and we were saying about how many people are struggling. Now Lloyd's setting up his own group as well, which I'm more than happy to, and we will advertise on the podcast next week. Lloyd knows a lot more people than I do, and I expect his group will be a lot more successful than mine. But good luck to him and the guy that he's setting it out with. It's there's so many people struggling at the moment, and I think the most important thing is, whether there's one group or a million groups, is that people, and I'm aiming this at men in particular, but everybody, that they reach out and speak to people when they're struggling. Times are hard at the moment, financially times are hard for a lot of people at the moment, and that can be one of the biggest causes of stress, depression, and a decline in mental health and in how you're functioning. And I think if we set up a community that helps each other, then that's great. I mean, not necessarily financially, but to support each other and just lend an ear. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. On the podcast, we're going to stick with the same three themes that we have been since sort of day one in the first episode, which are sobriety, mental health, and football. But I think going forward, there's a chance, especially when the season finishes, and we've all celebrated Bristol City getting promoted to the Premier League, fingers crossed, not likely, but fingers crossed, is that over the summer in particular, when there isn't any football on, that we focus on the mental health side of things, because I think now, probably more than ever, again, from the conversations I've had with people, it's crucial. So yeah, that's it. So that's the three things we talk about. Not exclusively, that's what we talk about. We do chat about random stuff as well, like films and television pop up quite a lot on the podcast. But yeah, so if you haven't listened before and you're interested, All the previous episodes are available on Spotify and Podbean. And one of the books that I read earlier this year is called I'm Never Drinking Again. It's by a gentleman called Dominic McGregor, and it's how to stop drinking so much and change your relationship with alcohol. Now, at the time of reading this, I've been sober just over 3 years. I'm approaching 3.5 years now, which is good. But in the book, and it says quitting itself is an act of courage. Going against culture isn't easy. One of my favourite quotes from J.K. Rowling's work: "It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. With sobriety, we must stand up to our friends and our routines. We have to avoid friends and occasions and change them." And I think that's so... It resonates so much with me. It's something that I've spoken to about people who are looking to give up at the moment. And it's very, very difficult. It is so difficult to approach going sober, but it's also really rewarding. I haven't met anybody that's given up and regretted giving up, and they've carried on having the benefits of going sober. So I think I just wanted to share that because it's something that I sort of stuck with me when I read it. So as we always say on the podcast, if anybody's thinking about getting going sober, then get in touch with us and we can have a conversation and try and help. Anyway, I'm going to start blabbering on a little bit, so I'm going to finish now and wrap this little one up. It's only a little one, but yeah, so we're back next week. I'm hoping to do going weekly going forwards, but I can't make any promises on that because life does get in the way sometimes. But we'll be back next week. If you haven't listened to any, then I'll put a link on my socials where you can go and listen to the last one and listen, and hopefully you enjoyed them, and hopefully enjoy all future episodes as well. But thanks for listening, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care, everybody. Cheers. Bye bye.